But when it comes to, over the long term, maintaining tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires, when that will mean additional deficits of $1 trillion, if you're serious about deficit reduction, you don't do that. And as I said, I think most economists, even ones that tend to lean to the right or more conservative, would agree that that's not the best way for us to approach deficit reduction and debt reduction. So I do think it's important, as we think about corporate tax reform, as we think about individual tax reform, to try to keep taxes as simple as possible and as low as possible. But we also have to acknowledge that in the same way that families have to pay for what they buy, well, government has to pay for what it buys. And if we believe that it's important for us to have a strong military, that doesn't come for free. We got to pay for it. If we think that we have to take care of our veterans when they come home, and not just salute on Memorial Day, but we actually have to work with folks who have post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury, well, that requires services that are very labor-intensive and expensive. If we think it's important that our senior citizens continue to enjoy health care in their golden years, that costs money. If we think that after a flood, we help out our neighbors and our fellow citizens so that they can recover, we got to pay for it. So the circumstance that's changed, earlier Juliana asked why I think I might get a deal. I think some of the questions here generally have centered about what's going to be different this time. My hope is that what's different this time is we have an adult conversation where everybody says, here's what's important, and here's how we're going to pay for it. Now, there are going to be some significant disagreements about what people think is important, and then that's how democracy should work. And at the margins, I think that I'll end up having to compromise on some things. Hopefully, others will have that same spirit. I think it just depends on what exactly you're talking about. And I think that there should be a full, open debate with the American people. Are we willing to cut millions of young people off when it comes to student loans that help kids and families on their college education? Are we only serious about education in the abstract, but when it's the concrete, we're not willing to put the money into it? If we're cutting infant formula to poor kids, is that who we are as a people? I mean, we're going to have those debates, particularly if it turns out that making those cuts doesn't really make a big dent in the long-term debt and deficits. Then I think the American people may conclude, let's have a more balanced approach. But that's what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of months. As I said, I know everybody would like to see it get resolved today. It probably will not be.